Okay, so it's been some time since I've made a video on the coronavirus situation, and really, I didn't know what to make a video about anymore. I was just like, well, that's it. It's it's out. It's spreading. Just about everybody's gonna get it. There's nothing anyone can do about it at this point anymore. The world governments totally screwed it up. They completely underestimated it. They treated it like it was SARS-1, not SARS-2. SARS-2 was way more contagious than SARS-1. But they were using an old playbook that they should have known would be ineffective. I mean, all the information was there for them to realize that, the old playbook isn't going to work with this thing. But they still insisted on using it. It broke containment everywhere, just spread across the globe. I mean, look at these numbers. It's everywhere. But there is something I did want to discuss, and that's the situation in Italy. And I've been looking at these numbers, and, the situation doesn't seem to be changing. The case fatality rate in Italy is extremely high. And I believe, personally, that it is a mutation in Italy. Now that seems terrifying because, okay, well, let's look at these numbers really quick. And so to really calculate a case fatality rate, you have to take the total recovered compared to the total deaths, not the total cases in all. Because if you take the total cases and compare it to the deaths, that is not quite accurate because there's a bunch of new cases. There's always going to be more and more new cases each day, so it's going to dilute those values. You want to take the cases of people who have run their full course. Oh, this is Italy, right? And so we have total deaths, total recovered. So we have 1,809 deaths divided by 1,809 plus 2,335. Right? That gives us a case fatality rate of 44% approximately in Italy, which is extremely high, which is a lot higher than the 3% that the World Health Organization is reporting and the 2% that most people assume it to be at. And, there's always the fact that perhaps cases have been missed, and I'm well aware of that. But there could be a large number of cases that just haven't been recorded. But does that make up for such a large discrepancy as this, 44%? Even if we did, use mathematical models to add in, so even if we did add mathematical models to, to make up for those possible missed cases, it still doesn't make up for, such a large discrepancy of 44%. Maybe it'll bring it down to 30%. But it's extremely high in Italy, and it looks like it is a mutation. The good news is, though, is that actually may not be too terrifying because it looks like this mutation is contained mostly in Italy, and also the current version of SARS-2 that is spreading to most people in most countries would still likely provide you immunity to the mutation in Italy, right? Because if they're closely related enough, then a mild version can provide you immunity to the more severe version. And I feel like that's the case. So Italy's getting hit hard. They have a terrible situation there, and it's very unfortunate for them. But for the rest of the world, it's probably not going to be as bad for them as it is for Italy. Because the rest of the world is going to get a more mild version of SARS-2, which will provide them immunity. So the version in Italy, isn't going to break out and kill a bunch of people because everybody else is going to be basically inoculated to SARS-2 by the more mild version. But, I'm noticing a disturbing trend. They've been tracking these numbers, right? Every day I check the coronavirus worldometer, and they've been tracking these numbers, and this number consistently keeps rising. And I would say Italy is a contributing factor to that. It used to be at 5, and then it was at 6, then it was at 7, then it was 8. As the deaths start to stack up in Italy, that's going to affect this global total. But also, it kind of shows that as cases get resolved and we get to get a more accurate picture of how deadly this virus is, we're seeing that our case fatality rate is higher than most people are originally predicting it to be. I mean, we're at 8% now, and it just keeps going up. So this is such a new virus. When they say 3-4%, don't be like, oh yeah, I got a 98% chance I'm gonna be fine. Don't be too super confident about that. You know, I'm not saying panic or anything, but you know, there's a lot of things they don't know about this virus. So just don't take everything they say at face value. But if you do get it, you want the more mild version. You don't want the Italy version. You don't want the Italy variant. That is just absolutely brutal. Iran also, either Iran is underreporting their numbers, or Iran is also having to deal with a mutation that is more severe, because they have a pretty high case fatality rate. It doesn't seem to be as bad as Italy, but it's still pretty high. So just some things to be aware of, some things to keep your eye on. The media isn't talking about Italy, right? I mean, they're saying, oh yeah, it's really bad in Italy, but they're not talking about the numbers in Italy. You know, it's just people don't look at numbers. You know, they wait for somebody else to report to, you know, I don't know. It's just, people don't know how to look at numbers and analyze data on their own. It's just they wait for somebody else to tell them what's going on, and then they believe it. So, but keep an eye on that, and also make sure you have your supplies. I mean, stores. I'm out where I live. The stores and shelves are already being cleared out. Fortunately, I preempted that, and I was able to get the supplies that I needed. So I'm ready. But yes, so I don't have to go fight all these panicky people for, you know, basic food. And fortunately, I was able to get some toilet paper. I didn't realize people were going to take all the toilet paper, and we ran out right when people started rushing the stores for toilet paper. Fortunately, I was able to go in the morning. Right when I realized people were rushing the stores for toilet paper, I went in the next morning. They had just restocked, so I grabbed, you know, a good supply of toilet paper. So I'm set there. So we'll be okay on that front. But yep, keep an eye out. All right, thanks for watching.